This is an investigation into the complex realities of homicide conviction rates in Richmond, Virginia. It examines the challenges faced by the legal system and the profound impact on families left searching for answers. At the heart of this story is the case of Pete Banks. Pete Banks was shot and killed in February of 2024. He died on his own porch, tragically in front of his grandchildren. The incident allegedly stemmed from a fight with a neighbor. According to reports, the neighbor retrieved a gun and shot Banks, who was unarmed. The devastation left in the wake of this violence is immense. Shenna Thrower, Pete's fiancée, described feeling stabbed in the chest by his death. She expressed immediate doubt that justice would ever truly be served. Shenna Thrower witnessed the horrific aftermath firsthand. She recounted seeing the blood and hearing the children screaming in terror. Celestine Harvey, Pete's sister, shared her raw grief. She said she cried like a baby upon hearing the news. Harvey felt that a great person had been senselessly taken from them. The legal process began shortly after. Police arrested the neighbor, charging him with first-degree murder and related gun offenses. The case eventually proceeded to court in November 2024. However, the outcome was not what the family had hoped for. Judge Clarence Jenkins ultimately dismissed all charges against the defendant. The stated reason for the dismissal was insufficient evidence presented by the prosecution. For the Banks family, this dismissal raised serious questions. They began questioning the thoroughness of both the police investigation and the prosecution's case. They believed key witnesses who could have provided crucial testimony did not appear in court. The family also raised concerns about forensic evidence. They believed gunshot residue testing was not conducted. Furthermore, they questioned whether the bullet that killed Pete was ever recovered. Celestine Harvey did not mince words regarding the case's handling. She publicly called Pete's case an epic fail. The family felt let down by the system. Commonwealth's attorney Colette McEachin responded to the concerns surrounding the Banks case. She acknowledged that some potential witnesses were uncooperative during the process. Regarding the forensic questions, CA McEachin stated that a gunshot residue test would not have been helpful in this specific instance. She also addressed the bullet issue. McEachin stated that a bullet consistent with the killing was recovered and linked to the defendant's gun. She maintained that the prosecution presented a strong case. According to McEachin, the prosecution called 8 witnesses to testify. This included Pete Banks' own grandson, who was present during the incident. Despite this, she expressed not knowing precisely why the court found the evidence insufficient for the case to proceed. The impact of the lack of conviction continues to weigh heavily on the Banks family. Shenna Thrower feels crushed by the outcome. The absence of accountability leaves a deep wound. Shenna Thrower also spoke of feeling unsafe in her own community now. She described constantly always looking over my shoulder. The trauma and lack of resolution have lasting effects. Celestine Harvey believes the case warrants further scrutiny. She feels someone should review the evidence and process for missing pieces. The family seeks a thorough re-examination. Above all, the Banks family remains resolute in their pursuit. They state clearly that they need justice for Pete. They emphasize that they are not going to stop advocating for his case. CA McEachin offered a final comment on the Banks case conclusion. She stated that there were no other possible defendants identified in the investigation. She reiterated her belief that the prosecution had put on the strongest case possible with the available evidence. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. To understand the broader context of cases like Pete Banks, we must look at the data. CBS 6 requested and analyzed data from both the Richmond Police Department and the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. This data covers a specific 5-year period. The time period analyzed spans from 2019 through 2023. This timeframe provides a snapshot of recent trends in homicide investigations and prosecutions in the city. During these 5 years, Richmond experienced a significant number of homicides. The total number of homicides recorded in Richmond from 2019 to 2023 was 337. Each number represents a lost life and a grieving family. These statistics underscore the scale of the challenge facing law enforcement and prosecutors. According to data from the Richmond Police Department, their clearance rate for these homicides was approximately 55 to 60%. Clearance means the police have identified a suspect and have sufficient evidence to make an arrest, or the case is closed for other reasons, like the suspect dying or self-defense being determined. The majority of these clearances were by arrest. However, this also means a substantial percentage of cases remained unsolved by police. Based on the police data, between 40 and 45% of homicides during this period remained unsolved. These are cases where no arrest was made and no suspect was definitively identified. Moving from police investigation to prosecution, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office provided data on the outcomes of cases that reached their level. Focusing specifically on murder and manslaughter charges, the prosecutor conviction rate was approximately 70%. This figure is based on the roughly 200 defendants whose cases proceeded through the system during this period. When including convictions on related charges stemming from homicide incidents, the prosecutor conviction rate increased. This includes charges like malicious wounding or firearms offenses that may be part of a plea agreement or verdict. Including these related charges, the conviction rate rose to approximately 80%. These statistics offer different perspectives on accountability. The police clearance rate reflects their ability to identify suspects. The prosecutor conviction rate reflects their success in securing convictions once a case enters the court system. Both sets of numbers highlight that a significant portion of homicides do not result in a conviction for murder or manslaughter. The reasons for this are varied and complex, involving challenges at multiple stages of the legal process. Understanding these challenges is crucial to understanding the data. Prosecuting homicide cases is inherently difficult. Deputy Commonwealth's Attorney Michael Holloman offered insights into the factors influencing outcomes. He attributes successful prosecutions to the presence of stronger evidence. This includes evidence like video surveillance footage. Recorded phone calls can also be critical. Location data from cell phones or GPS devices provides valuable information. However, Holloman also offered a cautionary note about conviction rates. He warned that higher conviction rates do not always equate to higher justice rates. The complexities of individual cases matter more than simple percentages. Holloman identified the biggest challenge facing prosecutors today. He pointed to the proliferation and increasingly lethal nature of guns in the community. The prevalence of firearms complicates many cases. He noted the particular difficulty in cases involving mutual gunfire. Determining who started shooting first can be incredibly challenging. These scenarios often involve complex legal arguments around self-defense. According to prosecutor data from 2019 to 2023, the leading cause for charges being dropped was uncooperative witnesses. This is a persistent and significant hurdle in many criminal cases, especially homicides. Witnesses are often reluctant to come forward or testify. Witness issues can stem from various factors. Witnesses are sometimes threatened or intimidated. Fear for their safety or the safety of their families can prevent them from participating in the legal process. Other reasons also contribute to cases not resulting in a conviction or charges being dropped. Prosecutor data indicated that in 3 cases, defendants were found mentally incompetent to stand trial. These cases cannot proceed until competency is restored, which may never happen. In 3 other cases, the defendants died before their cases could be resolved. This could be due to natural causes, violence, or suicide. The death of a defendant automatically closes the criminal case against them. These challenges illustrate that securing a homicide conviction involves navigating numerous obstacles. It requires strong evidence, cooperative witnesses, and defendants who are both alive and competent to stand trial. The system relies on many moving parts functioning correctly. The relationship and differing perspectives between the police and prosecutors are also critical factors. It's important to note that police clearance rates and prosecutor conviction rates are not always an apples-to-apples comparison. police can clear cases without an arrest, such as when self-defense is evident or the suspect is deceased. Richmond Police Chief Rick Edwards offered his perspective on unsolved cases. He suggested that some cases remain unsolved because prosecutors do not authorize charges. This indicates a point of potential friction or disagreement between the two agencies. Chief Edwards explained the process for seeking homicide warrants. He stated that consultation with the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office is required before police can seek a warrant. This consultation is a necessary step in moving a case forward. According to Chief Edwards, disagreement on charging decisions happens often. This suggests a regular occurrence of differing opinions on whether sufficient evidence exists to proceed with a prosecution. These disagreements can impact which cases ultimately reach the courtroom. Deputy CA Holloman offered a counterpoint to this perspective. He explained the different legal standards involved. Police need probable cause to make an arrest and seek charges. Prosecutors, however, need evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to secure a conviction at trial. Holloman noted that disagreement on these definitions and standards exists between the agencies. This difference in legal thresholds can lead to differing conclusions about a case's viability. Commonwealth's attorney Colette McEachin defended her office's performance. She expressed confidence in the work being done by her team. She cited what she described as a strong partnership with the Richmond Police Department. McEachin also believes that community participation in the court system has improved. She suggested this improvement has occurred under Chief Edwards' leadership. Increased community engagement can be vital for witness cooperation. She pointed to the Richmond Police Department's 2024 annual report as evidence of progress. The report showed an overall decline in violent crime in the city. It also specifically noted an 18% drop in homicides. CA McEachin made a bold declaration about her office. She stated unequivocally that the Richmond CA office is the best office in the state. This reflects her strong belief in her team's capabilities and dedication. She also described the internal review process for cases that do not result in a conviction. This process involves examining various factors. These include witness reassurance efforts, the timing of evidence presentation, and how a jury might interpret the facts. Challenger Tom Barber offered a critical perspective on the city's performance. He was critical of both the police clearance rates and the prosecutor conviction rates. Barber argued that the current rates are insufficient. Barber calculated what he termed an accountability rate. Based on the data, he arrived at a rate near 40%. This was calculated by dividing the 136 convictions by the 337 total homicides during the period. He argued that this low accountability rate has direct consequences. It means that dangerous people remain on the streets. Barber believes this contributes to the ongoing cycle of shootings and violence in the city. Barber suggested that prosecutors have a role to play beyond the courtroom. He believes they should actively help police increase arrest rates. He also feels prosecutors should work to build stronger community relationships to encourage cooperation. He views the Commonwealth's Attorney Office as the chief public safety officer for the city. As such, he believes the office is responsible for setting public safety priorities. Barber argued that the primary focus should be on violent crime. To improve outcomes, Barber suggested a specific strategy. He proposed creating a task force. This task force would combine prosecutors and detectives to work collaboratively from the outset of investigations. He believes this integrated approach could drive up both clearance and conviction rates. To provide further context, it is helpful to compare Richmond's data with another jurisdiction. Norfolk, Virginia serves as a useful point of comparison. It has a similar population size, demographic makeup, and faces comparable crime rates. Data from the Norfolk Commonwealth's Attorney's Office was also examined. This data covered the same period from 2019 to 2023. During this time, Norfolk prosecutors handled cases involving 145 total homicide defendants. Norfolk prosecutors secured convictions for 99 of these 145 cases. This includes convictions for murder, manslaughter, or related charges stemming from the homicide incident. This provides a basis for comparison with Richmond's outcomes. The conviction rate in Norfolk during this period was 68%. This rate includes convictions on non-homicide-related but relevant charges, similar to how Richmond's higher rate was calculated. Comparing this to Richmond's 80%, including related charges, offers a point of discussion. The reasons cited for cases not resulting in conviction or charges being dropped in Norfolk were similar to Richmond's. These included insufficient evidence presented to the court. Uncooperative witnesses also posed a significant challenge in Norfolk cases. Other reasons mirrored Richmond's experience. The death of defendants before trial occurred in some cases. Findings of self-defense also led to cases not resulting in prosecution or conviction. This comparison suggests that challenges like uncooperative witnesses and insufficient evidence are not unique to Richmond. They are systemic issues facing urban legal systems dealing with violent crime. However, the differing conviction rates warrant further examination and discussion about practices and priorities in each city. Behind every statistic, there is a human story. The data on homicide clearance and conviction rates represents more than just numbers. It represents victims whose lives were tragically cut short and the families left behind to grapple with unimaginable loss. For many families, like the Banks family, the system does not deliver the justice they seek. They are left without the closure that a conviction can sometimes provide. The lack of accountability can prolong the grieving process and deepen feelings of injustice. The search for justice continues for these families. They long for accountability for those responsible for their loved ones' deaths. Their voices underscore the profound human impact of every unsolved case and every case that ends without a conviction. The challenges are significant, from securing evidence to ensuring witness cooperation. The perspectives of law enforcement and prosecutors highlight the complexities of navigating the legal process. Ultimately, the effectiveness of the system is measured not just in statistics, but in its ability to deliver justice for victims and their communities.